In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on January 15, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Detroit Pistons versus Washington Wizards. In a matinee showdown in the nation's capital, the Detroit Pistons are set to face off against the Washington Wizards, both teams vying for a much-needed victory as they currently stand as the 2 worst teams in the Eastern Conference. This Monday afternoon clash brings together these underperforming squads in a battle of also-rans. Despite Detroit's recent 112-110 loss to the Rockets, they managed to cover the spread as a 9-point underdog. Conversely, the Wizards secured a convincing 127-99 road victory over Atlanta, defying the odds as an 8-point underdog. While the Pistons hold a historical advantage in the regular season series, having a 157-142 lead, the Wizards have claimed victory in the last 9 meetings, including a 126-107 triumph in their first encounter this season on November 27, 2023. The woes persist for the Detroit Pistons, encapsulating a dismal season with 35 losses in their last 36 games. Their quest for redemption involves breaking a 7-game losing streak, as evidenced by the recent heart-wrenching 112-110 defeat against the Rockets. The scoring efforts of Kevin Knox and Alec Burks, who each contributed 19 points, were not enough to seal the win. Jaden Ivey added 18 points with 8 assists, while Isaiah Stewart chipped in with 16 points. Despite shooting 50% from the field and making 12 of 35 3-point attempts, the Pistons faltered in the final quarter, scoring a mere 19 points, allowing the Rockets to snatch the narrow win in the closing moments. On the flip side, the Washington Wizards find themselves grappling with a recent slump, losing 9 of their last 11 games. However, a glimmer of hope emerged as they snapped a 6-game skid with a commanding 127-99 road victory over the Hawks. Kyle Kuzma led the charge with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, while Jordan Poole and Denny Avdija contributed 20 and 19 points, respectively. The Wizards shot 48% from the field and connected on 12 of 32 3-point attempts, securing an 11-point halftime lead and exploding for 41 points in the third quarter, ultimately widening the gap to 30 points. In terms of player availability, the Pistons continue to miss the services of Cade Cunningham, while the Wizards have listed Johnny Davis as questionable for this matchup. The impending clash features 2 struggling teams, raising questions about the expected attendance for this contest. Detroit's dismal record, losing 35 of their last 36 games, coupled with the absence of their leading scorer, Cunningham, adds an element of uncertainty. Additionally, Bojan Bogdanovic's status further complicates matters for the Pistons. On the other hand, the Wizards, despite their recent struggles, displayed dominance in their previous game against the Hawks. A deal between the teams on Sunday introduces the possibility of new players taking the floor, further clouding the outcome. The Detroit Pistons face the challenge of playing without their primary scorer and potentially their second top scorer. The uncertainty surrounding Marvin Bagley III's participation leaves room for speculation, yet if he plays, he might aim to capitalize on the opportunity to score against his former team. Bagley's season averages of 10 points per game and 4.5 rebounds contribute to the Pistons' offensive dynamics. Despite the Wizards' overall season statistics, they have shown improvement defensively, conceding only 116 points in their last 3 games. The Detroit Pistons, plagued by historical underperformance, hold a season record of 16-23 against the spread. Their struggles are exacerbated by the absence of key players, namely Cade Cunningham and Bojan Bogdanovic. The Washington Wizards, although not significantly better, come off a resounding upset against the Hawks and boast a 9-game winning streak against the Pistons. In those 9 victories, the Wizards also hold a favorable 6-3 against the spread record. The recent triumph over the Hawks instills a sense of optimism for the Wizards, suggesting they can extend their success against the slumping Pistons. Choosing between the 2 struggling teams doesn't inspire confidence, but the Wizards' impressive performance against the Hawks adds a glimmer of hope. With Detroit grappling with injuries and the Wizards exhibiting improved defensive prowess, the Pistons may struggle to match the scoring output. The Washington Wizards, as the ostensibly superior team, appear poised to secure a victory at home, so the Washington Wizards to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. The offensive woes of the Pistons, compounded by injuries, signal a potential struggle in scoring during this matchup. The Wizards' recent demonstration of effective defensive play against a formidable opponent like the Hawks adds weight to the argument that the Pistons may find it challenging to surpass the 110-point mark. Similarly, the Wizards are not expected to post an excessively high score, with a projected total of 237 based on both teams' recent offensive and defensive averages in their last 3 games, home and away, and throughout the season. Therefore, opting for under the projected total is our full-game total pick. San Antonio Spurs vs. Atlanta Hawks. The upcoming clash between the San Antonio Spurs and the Atlanta Hawks features two teams grappling with the challenges of breaking into their respective playoff landscapes. Eager for a victory, the Spurs hit the road to face the Hawks in Atlanta on Monday afternoon. In their recent outing, San Antonio succumbed to a 122-116 defeat at home against the Chicago Bulls, yet they managed to cover the spread as 7-point underdogs. Conversely, the Hawks faced a disheartening 127-99 loss at home to the Washington Wizards, failing to meet expectations as 8-point favorites. Although the Spurs hold a historical advantage with a 58-44 regular season series lead, the Hawks secured a 137-135 win on the road in their first encounter this season on November 30, 2023. Currently experiencing a challenging period, the San Antonio Spurs have encountered difficulties, losing 11 of their last 14 games. Following a 2-game winning streak, they suffered a setback against the Bulls, concluding in a 122-116 defeat. Tre Jones took charge for the Spurs, contributing 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists on an efficient 1-0-of-1-3 shooting performance. Despite a commendable effort to recover from an early 18-point deficit with a 39-point third quarter, the Spurs faltered down the stretch, allowing the Bulls to escape with the win. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Hawks find themselves in a slump, losing 4 of their last 5 games. In their recent 127-99 defeat against the Wizards, Trae Young led the team with 21 points and 10 assists, but the Hawks struggled defensively, shooting just 34% from the field and falling behind by as much as 30 points. As the Spurs face the Hawks, they continue to deal with roster challenges, with Zach Collins out and Doug McDermott listed as questionable. Despite their underdog status, the Spurs have shown glimpses of improvement, securing a 2-game win streak before their loss to the Bulls. Led by Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs have a chance to upset the Hawks, especially considering their respectable head-to-head record with 11 wins in their last 16 visits to State Farm Arena. Additionally, the Spurs have covered the spread in their last 6 games, suggesting the potential for another competitive outing. On the other hand, the Hawks, despite an overtime win over Philadelphia, have struggled recently, losing 4 of their last 5 games. With a subpar defensive rating and double-digit losses to Indiana and Washington, the Hawks have been challenging for bettors, covering the spread only 9 times in 38 outings. The Spurs, in their last 10 games, have consistently covered the spread, making a case for a closely contested matchup. Given the recent performances of both teams, the game's outcome may be closer than the current line suggests. The Spurs have covered the spread in 3 of their last 5 meetings with the Hawks, including their most recent encounter this season. Both teams entered their recent games with momentum, with the Spurs winning consecutive games before the loss to the Bulls, and the Hawks enduring a challenging season with a significant loss to the Wizards. While the Hawks are favored to win, their disappointing performance this season, especially on the defensive end, raises doubts about their ability to secure a convincing victory. The Hawks' MLK Day game in Atlanta may attract positive energy, but their 9-29 against the spread record and recent struggles make them a risky bet. The spread, initially set at 3.5 points in favor of the Hawks, has now risen to 7.5 points, indicating an expectation of a blowout. However, considering the recent form of both teams and their similar playing styles, a close game similar to their first meeting of the season is plausible. Opting for the points with the Spurs is a strategic decision, potentially capitalizing on the Hawks' inconsistency. So the San Antonio Spurs to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Examining the statistical aspects, the Spurs have surpassed the point total in 22 of their 38 games this season, with a moderate number of turnovers averaging 14.7 per contest. Their pace, ranking third in the league with 102.1 possessions per game, suggests an emphasis on an up-tempo style. On the other side, the Hawks have gone over the total in 23 of their 38 games, committing an average of 13.8 turnovers per contest. With a fast-paced approach, ranking fifth in the league with 101.5 possessions per game, the Hawks aim to exploit the Spurs' defensive vulnerabilities. Both teams find themselves among the bottom five in defensive rating and pace this season, resulting in a combined 44-30-2 record on the over/under. Head-to-head meetings reinforce this trend, with the over hitting in 6 of the last 8 games and an average of 241 points scored in the last 10 meetings. Additionally, the over has cashed in 4 of the last 6 Spurs games against Southeast Division opponents and in 5 of the last 6 Hawks games versus Western Conference opponents. The anticipated high-paced game and offensive output project a final predicted score of 255. Considering the team's comfort with a fast-paced style and their defensive struggles, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Golden State Warriors versus Memphis Grizzlies. The upcoming clash between the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies promises an intriguing matchup, featuring 2 Western Conference teams currently facing struggles in the ongoing NBA season. Scheduled for Monday, this game is part of the Warriors' road trip, with the team heading to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. The Warriors, with a recent loss to the Bucks, find themselves at an 18-21 record for the season, while the Grizzlies, having suffered 2 consecutive losses, stand at 14-25. The Golden State Warriors, in particular, have encountered a challenging stretch, dropping 3 of their last 4 games. Seeking redemption after a 129-118 road defeat against the Bucks, the team aims for an improved performance. Jonathan Kuminga spearheaded the effort with an impressive 28-point contribution off the bench, supported by Brandon Podziemski's 23 points and Klay Thompson's 21 points. Despite shooting 48% from the field and 15 of 36 from beyond the arc, the Warriors faced a formidable Bucks team and remained competitive until the explosive fourth quarter, where the Bucks surged with 46 points. On the other side, the Memphis Grizzlies have demonstrated a relatively stable performance recently, securing victories in 4 of their last 7 games. However, they are determined to rebound from a 106-94 loss to the Knicks on Saturday. Gigi Jackson led the team with 20 points off the bench, complemented by Vince Williams Jr.'s 17 points and 8 assists. The Grizzlies shot 41% from the field and 9 of 38 from the three-point line, managing to stay close with the Knicks until a third-quarter struggle allowed the opponent to pull away. In terms of player availability, Chris Paul remains sidelined for the Warriors, but the positive news is the expected return of Draymond Green. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, face the absence of key players, including Ja Morant, Steven Adams, Desmond Bane, and Marcus Smart. Despite the Warriors' recent struggles, the game against the Grizzlies is pivotal, considering the challenges faced by the Grizzlies due to their depleted roster. Missing their top scorers and 3 of their 5 starters, the Grizzlies are in a precarious situation. The Warriors, with the potential return of Curry and Green, hold an advantage, especially given their proficiency from beyond the arc, while the Grizzlies have struggled defensively on the perimeter. Just when it seemed the Grizzlies were overcoming obstacles, their roster is once again plagued by injuries. The absence of key players such as Morant, Bane, Jackson, and Smart significantly weakens their lineup. Consequently, despite the Warriors having their own issues, winning this game comfortably on the road should be within their grasp, considering the Grizzlies are essentially fielding a G League roster. Anticipating an uncomplicated victory for the Warriors, this game serves as an opportunity for them to regain momentum in the competitive Western Conference. Therefore, the Golden State Warriors to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Analyzing the offensive dynamics, the Warriors are poised to thrive on the perimeter against the Grizzlies. Expectations are set for the Warriors to either meet or surpass their average points per game. While the Grizzlies rank among the NBA's lowest scoring teams, they might find opportunities to accumulate points against a Warriors team currently sitting at 23rd in the league for points allowed per game. Both teams fall in the middle of the pack in terms of pace of play, with the Warriors at 13th and the Grizzlies at 15th. However, defensive resistance from either side is not anticipated to be substantial. Consequently, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.